is going on, everybody? And welcome back to the Rambling Men Sports Podcast. A little bit different setup today. We have James. James is back, number one, but he is driving on the way home from work.
I apologize, everyone. I have a very busy evening, but I wanted to talk some football with my buddy Shane. So
yeah, because you've missed the last 2 weeks, and frankly, it's just not the same. And it's neither
it's
of
not
us.
The same. It's not the same. I know.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and start things off in the NFL. Week 1, honestly, the lead of the weekend until Sunday night was Pittsburgh and Cleveland. But Sunday night, we got to talk about Sunday night, my man.
Yep.
I'm going to go first because it involved me.
Yep, go first.
I experienced a roller coaster of emotions Sunday night. It went from, all right, let's get this. It's a new season, and then the first quarter goes on. You're like, all right, a little bit of a sluggish start. You're like, no big deal. Chicago goes up to a big lead, and you're like, okay, this defense is struggling a little bit. And then all of a sudden, the play happens with Aaron Rodgers colliding with Khalil Mack. And
it looked bad.
Yeah, it did. And I was like, oh, no. And I think so then that's when you texted me. So
ACL.
I will say this. My friend texted me, and I was on a delay, and he said, oh, my God, he just broke his leg. And I was like, wait, you're messing with me. And then literally right after that, you texted me and said ACL. I was like, oh, no, what happened? Then I saw the play. I was like, ooh. And
I thought he tore his ACL. I really did.
When he grabbed it, I'm like, okay, this is something bad.
His leg kind of bowed a little bit. I mean, maybe that was just my imagination, but then he went back down to a nig, and I was like, damn, dude, he knows it too.
Yeah, everything that happened, it didn't happen until that second guy hit him on the way to the ground. Hit him right on his leg. So definitely he tweaked something. And this is our poll question, is how significant do you think Aaron Rodgers' knee injury is? Very, a little, not very. I'm going to say it's pretty significant, but obviously it's not a torn ACL or else he wouldn't have gone back out there. I don't know what it is. It's probably an MCL sprain or something. I can't see him going back out there if it was a partially torn ACL or anything else.
They wouldn't have let him. Wouldn't have let him.
I don't think so. I think it's some sort of MCL sprain.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. But yeah, so anyway, wide range of emotions. And then Deshaun Kaiser comes in, and my world's falling apart. I tweeted out, good thing I'm still numb from last season, because it really wasn't having a huge effect. I was bummed, but I was like, all right, well, I'm used to this. And then second half, halftime rolls around, and I was like, I'll just go get something to eat. And then I come back, turn on the TV, and I check my phone, and one of the Packers beat writers I follow said, oh boy, he's going back in. I was like, oh shit. I was like, oh no. I didn't know what to think. And he comes back in, and I literally said, if he comes back and wins this game, this is a story for the record books. And sure enough, that's what happened. Very, very impressive.
It was unreal.
Yeah, and I think we are in the same boat, though. I don't really know what to think of Sunday night. Hey, hell of a comeback, but there's still a lot of holes.
My turn?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm not going to lie. I went to sleep. I missed the second half.
Oh, yeah, and that's something else I wanted to bring up. So I texted you a gif of Aaron Rodgers in the sunglasses when he went back in. And then a couple hours went by, and I sent you a bunch of exclamation points. I think that was when they cut it to either tied the game. I think it was tied the game. And I said, you better wake the fuck up. Because I know you're sleeping at that hour.
Did.
And then
honestly, I would have stayed up and watched the game if I knew Rodgers was going back in. But I literally, if you asked me to bet my bank account on the fact if he was going in or not, I would have bet it to say he wasn't. Just it's like, it looked bad. And he got cornered off the field. I was like, no way they're going to bring him back, even if he is technically okay. I just don't see him bringing him back in.
I agree.
But, Shane, we actually agreed a little bit more on this than I thought we were. I feel worse about the Packers now than I did going into that game. It did probably solidify Rodgers as probably the best offensive football player I've ever seen, which is, great. But the defense still looked lost the whole first half. Matt Nagy, I believe if he would have stayed aggressive second half, I do believe they would have won that game. if you're expecting to win a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers playing Superman, it's just not going to happen. You and I both know that. Even somebody as good as Aaron Rodgers is not going to win 3 games in a row against 3 really good teams. It's just not going to happen unless he has some help. He needs some inkling of a defense. And I do think the defense will come together. I'm not going to say.
Well, I will say this. The defense really only gave up 16 points. I mean, Khalil Mack had a pick 6. So, and they got out to a 10-0 lead early in the first quarter. So, really, the rest of the game, the defense gave up 2 field goals. So, were there holes? Sure. And I do think, I think they even said that Nagy was hitting them with stuff that they never ran in the preseason. So, I do think, the defense was probably on their heels a little bit. I think Patton didn't know what to expect, and the defensive coordinator probably kept it a little vanilla. But once he figured it out, defense settled in. Like I said, they only gave up 2 field goals, and there were a lot of 3-and-outs. So, it's still early, but I hear you.
To be honest, I expected more out of the team. If I had to pick, a new team, since I'm going to have a new Super Bowl pick, surprise, surprise, because my fucking Super Bowl pick took a poop this weekend. But, man, I'm telling you right now, I don't think as of that, based off of that performance, I'm not saying this in general, but based off of that performance, I don't think the Packers are a true Super Bowl threat. Obviously, they're always going to be a contender with Rodgers, but I'm telling you, if you're winning in spite of talent and scheme, it's just you're not going to win consistently enough. I don't think Packers have the scheme to put points up on the board, and they don't have the talent to put points up on the board without Aaron Rodgers. So I'm telling you, you'll make the playoffs with them. It's not going to be a Super Bowl dub unless
I hear you, and I think you are pretty accurate. I still think they're a contender with Rodgers, but that's just me. But I do think he makes some valid points. The one area that really
contender for sure. I just don't think they're a legitimate threat.
Yeah,
if I
agree.
Had to say, you know what I mean? If I had to take my top 2 teams in the NFC, if one of them wouldn't be the Packers.
Yeah, I agree. And I actually bumped them out of my top 10 after that performance. But
I'd still keep them top. Aaron Rodgers alone is literally worth the top 10 spot in the regular season. It's just, dude, winning 3 games against 3 good defenses when you probably won't have home field advantage. Consider, I don't see Rodgers playing next week against the Vikings.
I don't either.
I think, set him out a couple of weeks. Who gives a shit if you look at the Vikings?
I'll be totally honest. I think we dodged a bullet just that he was able to go back in.
Absolutely.
And I texted you. I might have texted you, and I definitely texted my friends. Like, if it meant he was healthy, I would have taken a loss. Just be like, okay, he's healthy. I would have taken a loss. I'll be like, okay, we'll lose this game. I'm fine with it. The only area, we're going to stay on Green Bay, I guess, a little bit longer, but the only area that really concerned me with Green Bay was the offensive line. And it looked really bad at the beginning. And then I actually read a text from a Packers beat writer that said that offensive line had not played together the entire preseason. So that's something to think about.
And the Bears arguably have a top, 6-7 defensive line in the entire NFL.
Yeah.
They have
especially with Khalil Mack now. Yeah.
Yeah, they had a good defensive line before Khalil Mack. So listen, I wouldn't listen. Besides quarterback, I think the Bears are a very
and I agree. I'll throw credit to the Bears all day long. They look a whole lot better.
Defense looks solid.
Yeah,
I think they're going to be a top 5 unit. I really do.
Yeah, and once again, though, we know this with the Bears. They have talent, especially on defense. They got a pretty good offensive line, but it all rests on Trubisky. And again, once the Patton and the Green Bay's defense kind of figured out how to deal with him and the new wrinkles in their offense, Trubisky was not a factor. He was looking to run a lot after that first read.
Yep. I don't know. I kind of put a lot of chips in the Mitchell Trubisky basket, and he's not making me look too good right now. So
he looked great that first quarter and a half, really.
But they were wide open.
Yeah, I know.
And you know what? Credit to hit the wide open man, but it sounded like Nagy went, listen, we're going to scheme this guy open. He's going to be open, hit him, and Trubisky hit him.
There's one, I don't know if you've seen it. There's one photo out there on Twitter, and I think it was later in the game. I think it was actually when they got that field goal to make it 23-17, right before Green Bay took the lead. He was rolling out on 3rd down on the 3-yard line or something. I forget when it was. He had Trey Burton wide open in the end zone and missed him and threw it off in the flat for a -5 play instead of possibly a touchdown. So, again, with Trubisky, I don't know if he's got it.
This is why you can never predict quarterbacks, dude, because they are almost all talented enough physically to be quarterbacks, but you never know who's going to figure it out up here. Yeah. You just don't. I mean, you like to think you got to see. That's why Carson Wentz is an amazing quarterback, because he got it up here. It's why, obviously Aaron Rodgers is ridiculously physically talented, but what puts him over the top is up here. Obviously, your Tom Brady's and everything like that. But, dude, just being able to throw the football well does not mean that you're going to be a great quarterback. Look at Matt Stafford. Look at Joe Flacco. I mean, guys who just have absolute hoses and they can't get it together.
Yeah.
But as far as the poll question, how significant do I think Aaron Rodgers' knee injury is? Very, a little, or not very? I said very.
Yeah, I agree.
Obviously, I maybe could have went a little, just because very could have been like a torn ACL.
Yeah,
but
that's fair.
Listen, dude, if Rodgers isn't 1,000% healthy, you're not going to win that division.
How about this? Let's change it up. Let's go with very to somewhat, like not really, or kind of somewhere in between very and a little.
Yeah, and that's where I would land, because very would be something else. But listen, that's a significant injury, man, because it just takes rest. It's like there's not really anything you can do. He's just going to have to sit out until it feels better. I hope he doesn't miss more than next week, but, we'll see. It's better to end the season, hot with a healthy Aaron Rodgers, even if you make a wild card, than, try to put him in now and kind of just limp through the season. So we'll see. But I really want to talk about this Browns game.
Yeah. One more thing I will throw out is real quick about Green Bay. Their physical trainer is notorious for keeping dudes out of the game if he doesn't feel like they're ready to go.
Good.
And I'm saying, if he was willing to let Aaron Rodgers go in Sunday night, maybe that's a sign. Maybe it's not as bad as we think. I don't think so, though. I think Aaron Rodgers just said, look, I'm going in.
My bad. What I think is it was one of those things where it was like, listen, it's just going to hurt. It's not necessarily like you're not going to go out there and like cause any structural damage. It's just going to hurt. Can we give you a shot? And you go back out there. And of course, 90% of NFL players are going to be like, fuck yeah, dude. They're all tough guys.
Well, my dad thinks it's a Richard Sherman type of deal last year where it was like, hey, there's nothing really we can do about this. You can go out there and play. It's going to hurt like hell. And eventually it's going to lead to something worse, like he had with the Achilles. He had like a partially torn Achilles, but they were like, we can't do anything for it. So he said, fuck it, I'll play. And then it was ended up to where it, popped and, torn. And then like it was like, oh, okay, it finally did it. So my season's done. And I think that's what it might be with Rodgers.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's better to keep him, even if you got to set him out for a month, it's better to go 1-3 in that month and then have him and rattle off 10 wins at the end of the year than, you know what I mean? So
all right,
we'll see. But
let's move on.
Go ahead.
Let's move on. So the Browns end a 17-game losing streak, ... after tying the Steelers 21-21. I'm curious to know your thoughts. I was really pulling for the tie, just because that's so Browns.
I was fucking pissed, because I want the Browns to be good, dude.
Yeah.
First of all, the Browns have the talent now, but they can't get over the dysfunction, Shane. How do you win the turnover battle by 4? 5-1.
They won
and not win the game. Dude, that has to be like a tied for a record or something. It really does. That was Cleveland's chance to really put the NFL on notice, and they literally shot themselves in the foot, and everyone's laughing at them. Yeah. Honestly, I think people would have laughed less if they lost, because everyone expected them to lose to the Steelers. It's the Steelers. Listen, Hugh Jackson is a fucking terrible football coach. I'm tired of him. He's been coasting off the fact that fucking Andy Dalton had a couple good seasons under him like 5 years ago. And he's still coasting off that. Shane, I swear to God, I think I could the 1-3. I swear to God. A 1-31-1. I could do that. Shane, you would luck into more victories than that. You would just the law of fucking numbers. Like, you're going to win more games. Sorry for getting so mad. It made me so mad. I don't get it. It just irked me.
You're cracking me up, man. You're cracking me up.
They even got the strip sack with like 30 seconds left and missed the field goal. Hugh Jackson elects to kick the field goal with 11 seconds left with a timeout instead of fucking trying to run a play and get him 5-6 yards closer. He sucks, dude. He sucks. if they got a new coach last year, I think they would have went 500 this year. I'm done. They're going to win 4 games, and it's going to be because of Hugh Jackson because he's fucking terrible.
No,
terrible.
I'm kind of with you, even though I'm not as hard on Hugh Jackson as you are. Terrible. I like Hugh Jackson. I think he's a good guy, but I'm with you, though. Eventually, you got to get some wins, and a tie is just not going to cut it.
You can't tell me you're a good coach when you lose 99% of your games. You're not.
No, I agree. You're right.
If it's the Browns, dude, you won 1 game in 2 years. You're one of 2 teams ever to lose every single game in a season. You're a garbage bag. He should never get a head coaching opportunity again.
Yeah.
Ever.
I'm with you, man. With you, man. It seems like we're arguing and we're on the same page. He's got to put it together.
I'm just upset. I'm just mad because it's just like, dude, when are the Browns going to figure it out? How do you get all these good players and all these good draft picks and every fucking year you suck?
I will say this: they completely blew all the draft picks. I mean, other than Myles Garrett, all of them sucked.
Denzel Ward had 2 picks.
Well, that's fair. Before this new front office, they just completely blew it the previous years.
Dude, I'm done with it. I said what I needed to say about Cleveland.
I don't have much to say either, other than obviously that's typical Cleveland. Tying to end a losing streak is so fucking Cleveland. It's not even funny. But Pittsburgh again. Pittsburgh. I mean, we should be harsh on Pittsburgh
in the
too.
Middle of that losing streak, just being like, you want to hear the most Browns thing ever? If we get a tie before we get a win, and everyone would have just been like, ha ha ha, yeah, that'd be funny, and that's what fucking happened. They tied. Like, dude, it's just ridiculous. How do you tie?
I don't know.
Honestly, it's much more pathetic on the Steelers' part, by the way.
And that's what I'm going to say. Why aren't we as harsh on the Steelers as we are on the Browns?
I'm just mad because...
I guess because they didn't have Le'Veon Bell. That's the big one.
No, but the running back still had the...
Oh, I know.
Me and Artis had an argument because he was like, if Bell was in, they would have won. And I was like, I disagree, dude, because the numbers were there. I mean, you might be right. Maybe, like, the threat of Le'Veon Bell would have switched a couple things up. But, like, dude, James Conner had 200 yards and 2 TDs total. Like, the running backs are going to produce with that offense. It's just they're a good offense. But, listen, the poll question, I just want to get to it before you even say your fucking point. Yes, they should get rid of that shit. There should never be a tie in a professional sports game. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Especially in America. In America, we don't tie here.
People paid for that game, dude. People paid for that game to go sit down for 4 hours, and then their team didn't even lose at the end. They tied. That sucks. Plus, when you have the chance to throw in college overtime rules and make it that exciting, why wouldn't you? What's the downside in that? What's the downside in teams starting from the 50 and let's see who scores first?
Like, I don't like. That's the one thing about college I really don't like is just how they put the ball in a certain spot in the field and say, "Hey, go score." I do like how the NFL does. You know, at least you got to go the whole length of the field to score. I'd much rather prefer that, but at least give 2 teams, you know, an opportunity with a possession. That's all I want. And obviously, yes, to answer the poll question, yes, I think it's ridiculous. There should never be a tie, especially in football, our fucking sport that we invented. Americans, we don't do ties. We didn't tie the Revolutionary War. We won the Revolutionary War.
It's ridiculous. They could change that so easily. It's dumb to me. It's just dumb. To sit there and be like, yeah, these teams play 5 quarters of football and they have the tie score, so we're just going to leave it. Like, why? Why even have overtime then? Like, fuck it.
And, you know, that's the other thing. Obviously, you can't do it in the postseason, but they have it in the postseason. You keep playing until there's a winner.
Exactly. Because you have to.
I know, exactly.
Dude, there's only 16 games, and you're going to tell me one of them is going to be in the 3rd column? Like, no, that's stupid, dude.
That's a good point, actually. There's 16 games. It's not like it's baseball where there's 162, you know, and maybe you gotta go to the West Coast the next day. You got to get on a flight for an early game.
Fucking 30 innings in baseball. In the 120th game of the season, they'll play 18 innings to finish that game. And you're going to tell me we can't finish a professional football game? It's retarded to me, man. I'm sorry. It just pisses me off.
I agree.
I'm high energy today.
I can tell. It's good to have you back, man. It's good to have you back. God damn, it's good to have you back. So let's get to your Eagles.
Listen, bro. You heard me. I picked them to lose. I picked them to lose 27-24. But I said in the beginning, dude, if Philadelphia, and even though it didn't look impressive, if Philly beats Atlanta without Wentz, without Alshon Jeffrey, and without Nigel Bradham, they're going to be a very, very hard out this year. At home, I don't see them losing one game. They're probably going to go 8-0. When we get Wentz back, dude, you know me. I'm never confident in my team. For one fucking time in my life, I'm confident in my team. Dude, the defense looks stellar. Stellar. The linebackers we were missing arguably our best linebacker, and the linebackers were strength in that game. One less team, I'm telling you right now, the Falcons are done. They lost Keanu Neal, and their Deion Jones is also on IR right now, which is their two best defensive players.
Yep.
And they can't score points on offense because their offensive coordinator's terrible. So I don't know, man. They might be done. It might be, it might be something else. It might be, two NFC West teams and then two NFC North teams or something. I don't know.
I think you're looking at definitely two NFC North teams getting in the playoffs this year.
But I'm telling you, dude, by week 4 or week 5, I see Wentz coming back week 5 against the Vikings at home. And I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna say they're gonna be the best team in football at that point if nobody gets hurt in between now and then.
This is huge because you are such a Debbie Downer when it comes to your Eagles.
You know what? They just make plays now. Like, I'm sitting there. It's fourth quarter. All the Falcons have to do is go down and score a touchdown. Any other year, bro, I would have been like, we lost. But I was sitting there, I was just like, dude, like, they're not getting in the end zone. Like, they will easily get in field goal range. They're not going to get in the end zone, dude. I'm telling you right now, the D-line is going to eat them up. And it actually happened, and it was amazing. It's really cool to actually have confidence in your team for once. So,
this is hilarious. So this is the text messages that you sent me during your Eagles game. So you said, I'm sick, SMH. We could have had this game in the fucking bag, bro. Again, I'm on a delay. I'm like, what I missed? You just took the lead.
That's why I said that, dude. I remember exactly when I said it because I was like, dude, he ran into a crowd of Falcons and kicked the ball, and they got the ball back. It was like a 60-yard gain for them. I was just like, dude, we lost. Like, you can't make this many mistakes against a good team and win. And defense just stepped up, dude. If the defense stays healthy, they're going to be top 5 again in points.
Then you send me bad position for heartbreak. We lost. I said, I'm on a delay. You respond, we lost. Then right afterward, we won. I said, Jesus Christ, I thought I was a downer.
I'm such a downer when it comes to the Eagles, man. But you know what? I got a little more confidence this year. The Bucs kind of scare me next week. I ain't going to lie to you. But we'll get to next week's predictions here in just a little bit.
Yeah, so my quick take is not necessary. Obviously, it was impressive by the Eagles, especially their defense. I think it was just more, what's up with the Falcons? Yeah.
I agree. They shot themselves in the foot a lot of times.
How many times did they have it 4th and goal? Twice and couldn't get a single point? 3 times. God almighty. Just ridiculous.
They had oh, no, that's not true. So they had the 4th and goal early when they got stopped. And then they had the 4th and goal late where they got stopped, and then they got an automatic first down, and then they got to throw the last play. So I guess it was technically a 4th and goal.
I'm counting that like 0 for 3. I'm counting that 0 for 3. But yeah, just again, they struggle on 4th and goal against the Eagles. It happened in the playoffs. It happened in this game. And everyone's starting to say, like, first of all, everyone's starting to say maybe Matt Ryan's not as good without Kyle Shanahan. And I'm like, he was good before Kyle Shanahan got there. I don't know what's going on. I think you're right. I think it's all Sarkisian. I just don't think he knows what he's doing.
Not really, but Matt Ryan is always going to be a good QB, dude. But he was only elite 1 year, and it was when Kyle Shanahan.
No, yeah, I agree.
He's a B+ quarterback. I think he's somewhere between 7 and 10 in the league, which is fucking good. That's great. I don't think he's as talented as a lot of guys. I do think he's more consistent than a lot of guys. That he might be less talented than, which puts him ahead of a few guys. I'd probably take Matt Ryan over Kirk Cousins, even though I think Kirk Cousins can make a couple more throws than he can. But just the consistency and things like that. But yeah, I'm pretty much done on Matt Ryan. and done one.
Yeah, I think I am too, and I actually picked the Falcons to win the Super Bowl this year.
A lot of people did. I saw so many Chargers-Falcons matchups, and it's just like funny. Chargers look like the same fucking Chargers, dude. Speaking of, that's a perfect segue.
Yeah, it actually is. Chiefs and Chargers, I know me and you we're very high on the Chargers this season. We liked the Chiefs, but we didn't know how Patrick Mahomes was going to do. And, wow, he played really well. I don't know how much of that was on him. I mean, Tyreek Hill had a huge game. But the Chiefs upset the Chargers in L.A. Again, I don't know what it is with the Chargers. They can't get off to a hot start. They always finish, they're going to finish September. They're going to be about 1-3, 0-4.
Yep. Tyreek Hill is just like absolutely uncoverable. He is the most explosive player in the NFL, ahead of Odell Beckham and everybody. And that hurts for me to say because I love Odell Beckham. To be honest with you, if the Chiefs had Marcus Peters right now and didn't get rid of him, I'd probably pick him to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I would agree.
Artist has some. Obviously, Artist is a Chiefs fan, so maybe he's biased, but he had him in the Super Bowl.
Wow, in the Super Bowl, in the preseason, He believed in Mahomes.
Yep. I believed in Mahomes. I knew. I'm telling you, as soon as Andy Reid said this kid is special, I knew it wasn't lying. Andy Reid knows quarterbacks.
Yeah, you're not wrong there, but man. Craziness. I had higher hopes for the Chargers, and they go and lose to essentially a rookie quarterback. And I did pick the Chiefs to make the playoffs, but
you did. I didn't. I didn't.
I'm losing.
Sammy Darnold.
You're moving on to Darnold.
I'm in a bad spot. You go first here because I'm in a spot driving where I'm going to have bad service.
Okay, yeah, I figured that was the case. So Sam Darnold, very, very impressive. I didn't watch the game much last night. I was at work, my new job. I just saw I saw the the alert that said Darnold throws pick 6 in his first pass attempt. I was like, oh no. I was like, oh Sam, oh no. Because it
was such a Darnold play too.
What's that?
It was such a Darnold play. It just looked like something he'd do at USC, where it was just like he was probably the best player on the field at USC, so he's just trying to do too much. Honestly, I think, and maybe a little bit of a hot take, but I think that was a really good thing that happened to him, because that was just like a perfect learning moment. First pass, like, dude, this isn't college. Don't try to make college plays. And I think he got smacked in the face with it immediately. And I think that was a good thing, because obviously they went on to absolutely shellac the Lions. So I don't think it really, in the grand scheme of things, the pick 6 didn't matter. But I think he's going to learn so much from that pick 6, and it's going to end up being better for him. But sorry, Shane, go ahead.
No, but yeah, after that, I saw, I don't know, I can't remember. I was driving, and then I got to my job later in the evening, and I saw that the Jets were keeping it close. I was like, okay, that's good. I picked the Lions, but I'll take the Jets keeping this game close. And then they scored to tie, and it showed Darnold's stats, and it was like since the pick 6, so 0 for 1 with a pick, it was like he was 17 of 20 for 150 yards or something and a touchdown. I was like, oh, damn. And then obviously he finished really well. I don't remember what his completion percentage was, but he threw for almost 200 yards, and his average yards per attempt was like 9.2. So
he played very well.
He played very well, absolutely. But the line, holy crap, the lines look awful. How many pick 6s did they have last night? None?
I think 2.
2?
Dude, I couldn't believe that. I was the one telling people, listen, everybody's sleeping on the Lions in the AFC North. No, I don't think they're going to win the playoffs or go to the division, but I think they're going to ruin a lot of people's seasons, blah, blah, blah. They look like garbage.
No, I'm dead serious. I checked. It was 17-17. I was sitting at work. I looked up, 17-17. Oh, we got a good game. I blinked, and then it was 41-17 Jets. I was like, what the hell happened?
I think they scored 30 points in one quarter. I'm pretty sure.
I was like, what the hell happened? Jesus Christ.
You want to know the absolute best part about last night, Shane? You want to know?
I'm not sure, no.
That the Giants drafted a fucking running back instead of Sam Darnold. Yeah, that makes me laugh so hard. The fact that they got to watch a guy in the same city win a Super Bowl with the Jets.
No, I'm with you, man. I said after the draft, it was very similar to Dallas. Everyone's saying this, though. It's very similar to Dallas a few years ago, having the opportunity to draft Jalen Ramsey instead of Ezekiel Elliott. And I thought, look, Ezekiel Elliott's going to be great behind that offensive line. But Jalen Ramsey is a game changer on defense and a position that they needed. And with the Giants, yeah, Saquon Barkley is going to be a pretty good pro. But Darnold, I think, is going to be a future Pro Bowl caliber quarterback, and could have been the heir apparent to Eli Manning, and you just passed him up. Not only just passed him up, you let him go to your essentially rival in your own city down the damn hallway. Just mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling.
He's going to be playing in your stadium, winning games, and it makes me laugh so hard because the Giants because they do have talent like Odell Beckham and Saquon. They're just going to sit right in the middle and win 6 games to 10 games every fucking year and not get a good quarterback. And Saquon's prime in quarterback purgatory. And we've discussed this a million times already.
Yeah, the Giants definitely look like a team that's in quarterback purgatory now. They have a good enough roster to where they're not going to lose very many games. And not enough to get a top 5 pick.
That's the worst spot. That's where Miami went.
Yes. I keep losing them. Connection lost. Fuck. He's trying.
Should be out of the woods in a second. I know I lost you.
Yeah, you did.
My bad. But go ahead. I think we're on the Cowboys.
Yeah, so let's stay in the NFC East. Cowboys, they looked atrocious offensively. And,
Let's go, baby.
And we're both laughing our asses off. Oh, God, I love it. I love it.
To be honest, Cowboys looked exactly how I expected, and I didn't, there was obviously a good chance that they didn't look how I expected, but they looked exactly how I expected. They don't have the talent to consistently put points on the board, and they don't have the offensive creativity to consistently put points on the board. When I know the plan to stop the Cowboys, what do you think guys who spend 12 hours a day studying offenses do? Listen, you load the box and you cover curls. Go fucking sound Dak Prescott.
Yeah, I agree.
You can't do anything.
Just
they're going to dare him to throw, and he isn't going to do it. And that's where they're going to be. They listen. Everybody talked about how losing Dez and Jason Witten wasn't a big deal production-wise because of their stats last year. You losing them was significant, and it almost had nothing to do with those stats. First of all, Jason Witten is Jason Witten. He's a Hall of Famer.
No, I'm with you on Jason Witten. I am not on Dez Bryant. But,
dude, well, first of all, 2 things. Jason Witten, he's your first down machine. So he was Dak's, he was perfect for Dak. He's the perfect 6-yard curl and get a first down player. Dak receiver. Dez Bryant is very similar to an Alshon in the sense that, listen, he's past the point where he's going to put up 100 yards and 10 touchdowns. But the threat of him on the field opens up so many other things. And I think that's where they're going to miss Dez Bryant. Listen, I would have gotten rid of Dez Bryant too. I'm not saying they should have kept him. But listen, Alshon Jeffrey had 850 yards and 8 TDs last year. But without him on the field, the whole offense is closed.
Yeah.
He drags a safety over to his side. If it's a smaller corner, they sort of have to play a little bit more zone instead of man, things like that. Listen, they are going to miss that production, even though it was probably only 1,400 yards receiving. They're going to miss those two. Very badly this year.
I think you're right. But I'm with you. I thought Jason Witten was going to be a tough loss. Dez, I get what you're saying. Dez is at least a presence, and you're always going to guard him. But he wasn't doing much last year anyway. No. But
he still had 850 yards. People just compared his last season to Dez Bryant instead of a regular NFL wide receiver. That's the problem. Yeah, compared to Dez. Dude, do you remember Dez Bryant in 2014?
Yeah, he was good.
Dude, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
He caught a touchdown every game.
Yeah,
every single game. And it's just
one more thing. This offensive line obviously just lost Travis Frederick, which is a huge loss. And I'm so glad I didn't pick this. I'm so glad I didn't pick this team to make the playoffs. I debated it really bad the entire offseason. I had them in the playoffs. And then after the Travis Frederick thing, I was like, nope. I think they're done. They're not going anywhere. And I'm just so glad I didn't pick them. But I will say this: their defense actually looked pretty decent, but Carolina's nothing offensively.
I agree. I said the same thing, but Carolina was also missing 3 offensive linemen.
And that offensive line's already bad.
And once they lost Greg Olsen, you see that they couldn't really do much.
Yeah. And so Cam. I don't even know his stat line, but I know enough to where he probably didn't perform that well.
Bad. He's bad.
Yeah,
he played as well as Dak. Didn't play well.
No, I don't think so. Dak's at least accurate.
Under 200 yards passing.
Yeah.
I think he was about 55%, no touchdowns. You know my feelings on Cam. He's got all the talent in the world, but he's obviously not a coachable player.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys who came in the league and was like, I'm freaking huge and fast and talented, so I'm just going to – like Dez Bryant, I'm just going to count on that. You know what I mean? And now here Cam is almost 30 years old, and he's putting up the same fucking numbers he put up when he was 22.
Yeah, you're right.
No excuse. No excuse.
Do you think it's
he
time –
had a better season the rookie year than he's had his past 3 years.
Yeah, I agree. He's regressed. So let's get to the poll question. Now that we've trashed Dallas and Carolina, do you think it's time to panic about the Cowboys' poor offensive performance?
I do, because I don't see how you fix that.
Yeah. They look boring, honestly.
Rhetoric back. Even if they get, yes, it is time to panic in Dallas.
Yeah, I agree. I'm 100% with you. I think it's time to panic there. This team looks a lot like what Green Bay was a few years ago. There was no creativity. The offensive line's banged up. Zeke can't get going. Dak won't throw down the field.
Listen to this stat. 9 out of his last 11 games, Dak Prescott hasn't cracked 200 yards. Yes.
I'm still going to defend Dak Prescott. I don't know why. I'm still going to.
He's not even as good as Alex Smith. He's a shitty Alex Smith. I'd put him between 15 and 20 in the league.
That's fair. I still defend him though. The offensive line's banged up. He has no one to throw to. I don't know. Maybe try to give him a burner. Try to give him a deep threat. Maybe he'll start throwing it down the field. Maybe. I don't know. I'm just barely on the Dak bandwagon now. I'm all over Dak. I love Dak.
He has just consistently shown. Go look at the stats. If you can't run the ball, he's useless.
Yeah.
I mean, useless. Can't even get a first down.
Yeah.
If there's no threat of a running back, he can't even get a first down.
I know. And I don't know Zeke's stat line. I didn't really watch the game. All I know is I saw the final score 16-8. I was like, damn.
He played okay.
Zeke was just okay?
Yeah, just okay.
I didn't see his
he didn't have much places to run, dude. They have a good front seven. Their offensive line was looking terrible. Dak wasn't taking any pressure off of him. I mean, he did what he could do. You know Ezekiel Elliott, too. When he's eating, he gets more hype, and he does better. And when he's getting stuffed a little bit, he kind of, starts acting like a little baby.
Yeah.
And that's how that goes. So.
Do you think this team's even going to come close to – what do you think – I'll say this. Do you think this is an 8-8 team now or less?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because I had them at 10 wins.
Oh, did you? No, I didn't have them.
They're not a 10-win team. I had Philly at 11, Dallas at 10.
Wow. I didn't have Dallas at 10. I thought they were going to be around 500, and I'm sticking with that, but it doesn't look good. At least that defense looked pretty good.
They look like they might be a 6-10 team if they play like that.
I know. My friends.
I'm telling you, dude, they had a 0% chance of beating Philadelphia playing like that.
One thing that was not constant, but one thing that kept being mentioned over and over in the offseason, how no one in the NFC East has won that division back-to-back years since Philadelphia did it over a decade ago, about 15 years ago. And everyone kept saying, who's going to beat them? Who's going to beat them? And I just kept thinking to myself, no one is on Philadelphia's level. Maybe Dallas. And just the more I watch that division, I'm like, there is nobody on Philadelphia's level right now. The Giants are kind of close. The biggest
threat is the Skins, Shane.
I don't know. Whoa, I don't know about that.
Easily. And I'll tell you exactly why. Dallas and the Giants are a team. They have units that are stupidly talented, and then they have units that are garbage. The Redskins are like the Eagles last year, where they're not stupid talented anywhere except maybe defensive line, but they're not bad anywhere. There's not a weak spot that you can sit there and go, yeah, their linebackers are weak, so we're going to pound on them, or their D-backs are weak, so we're going to pass on them, or, their offensive line is weak, so we're going to blitz on them, things like that. That's where, dude, the Redskins have a competent quarterback, fantastic offensive line, a good running back trio, great tight end, good defensive line, really good linebacker, and a really good cornerback. Like, yeah, they're they could be better, but dude, that's a good team. That's a more complete team than Dallas and New York.
You might have just sold me,
dude. They have good players at every position. They have what's the really good linebacker they just got? Zach something.
I only know of Kerrigan.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, offensive and they have a top 6 or 7 offensive line, and they have a very good defensive line with Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen, and Ryan Kerrigan.
It's fair.
They're a good team.
Yeah, I don't know what to say to that. You've stumped me.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on. Anything else? We don't have to. One thing I do want to talk about, I guess, is New Orleans. That is one more thing I definitely want to talk about. New Orleans Saints. Their defense didn't show up. A top 5 probably unit last year. Great. We thought, great for the most part all season.
This is where I wish we had like a producer for this show, because I want somebody to look up this stat. Has there been a Super Bowl winner since the game's inception allowed 48 points in one game any point during the season? I want to go out on a limb and say no.
I didn't catch what you said. You dropped out.
They're done. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I'm in like the middle of Baltimore. How the hell do I not have service? Dude, listen. I wonder, can you hear me?
Yeah. I
wonder if there's been a team sent in the last 52 Super Bowls that allowed 48 points in a game during the season. And I bet you, maybe once, I bet you it hasn't happened though. So they're done.
We talking regular season or postseason?
Regular season.
Yeah, you might be right.
Dude, look, we both said it. You were on the bandwagon a little bit more than me for the credit. You said that they probably overperformed last year. It's very, very obvious that they did overperform last year. Marshon Lattimore got fucking cooked by Mike Evans. I was listening to the Sims and Lefko podcast this morning, and Chris saw the game. He was where Ryan Fitzpatrick just didn't throw it to Mike Evans when they would have been another 50-yard touchdown. He said Mike Evans could have had 200 yards, 3 touchdowns in that game on Marshon Lattimore.
Yeah.
1 sack. They got 1 sack with that great defensive line. Like, they're just Manti Te'o is their fucking middle linebacker. Like,
I think that front 7 is the most overrated front 7 in the league.
It has to be.
Yeah.
At this point,
they've tried to make arguments that it's pretty good. Sheldon Rankins is okay. Cam Jordan's pretty good. But their linebackers really aren't that good outside of, Manti Te'o is okay. Alex Anzalone is okay. But that front 7 is weak. I felt like if they were going to get better, it had to be up the middle. And they didn't really do that. They added Marcus Davenport. I was never that high on Marcus Davenport, and I didn't see how he did yesterday. But it obviously wasn't great. They gave up 48 points. And that secondary, man, just got cooked by Ryan Fitzpatrick. Ryan fucking Fitzpatrick. And like you said, Marshon Lattimore didn't look great.
Couldn't believe
it. This looks bad, man. I'm happy, though, because you know why?
Why?
Green Bay's got the Saints' first-round pick.
That's very true.
So
that's very true.
At least there's that. At least there's that. I'm hoping for that. I'm hoping for the worst for the Saints, even though I like the Saints. But you score 40 points and you lose. That's like not Green Bay, West Virginia a few years ago with Geno Smith.
It looked like a Big 12 game.
Yeah,
it's exactly what it looked like.
I don't even know. Is it worse on the Saints? No, I'm going to say it looks bad for the Saints because I know the Bucs aren't any good. With Dirk Cutter,
exactly.
I know they're not any good. I don't care what they say. They're not any good.
No. When has Ryan Fitzpatrick ever played that well in his life?
Never. He was okay with the Jets.
Dude. Yeah, that was a given. That was a given. I did want to touch on just for 1 second, Andrew Luck. If I'm a Colts fan, even though they lost that game, I'm going away from that game feeling great because Andrew Luck looked fantastic. They just lost because they have a shitty roster. So I just wanted to touch on that for a second.
Yeah, I didn't see his numbers either. I remember checking the score because I don't have Sunday Ticket.
Yeah.
I checked the score and I saw they were winning, and I thought, oh, okay, cool. I picked them. Good for Andrew Luck. I like him. And then I checked the end of the game, and they lost. I was like, well, how the hell that happened? Yeah, I'm with you. I just don't think Indianapolis is there. I think some people were a little bit too excited about them. I felt like this is a team that's just one more year away. They got a ton of cap space. They have draft picks next year. They're one more offseason away from being a legitimate playoff team and getting a really good roster around Andrew Luck. That offensive line, I'm telling you, I think that offensive line is going to be really good. It just takes time for especially rookies, obviously, but they have 2 rookies now, probably starting on that offensive line. It just takes a while for that chemistry to get together. I think the Colts are going to be fine. They're going to be fine. And obviously, it's a new system as well with Frank Reich. They're going to be fine, I think.
Dude, these people are ridiculous. My bad. Yeah, I agree. I don't think Frank Reich was the best hire. I think he's an okay coach. But, yeah, so I do see that I finished 8-7-1 in my picks this week, so I'm actually pretty pissed about
Armand actually led us in 10-5-1. I'm debating whether or not I heard him right. Because there were a lot of upsets.
What were his different? What was the difference?
Let me check here on my laptop.
I bet he picked Philly to win. That was probably one of them.
He picked Philly.
Okay.
Let me pull up Microsoft Excel.
He probably picked the Jaguars because I picked the Giants.
Yeah, I know he did because he had them in the Super Bowl.
He probably picked Dallas instead of Carolina because I picked Carolina. Or I picked Dallas, I mean.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he picked Carolina too. God damn it, this thing won't open.
So I just guessed them all. I just guessed them all.
That's a few, yeah. All right. He had Philly over Atlanta, Jacksonville over New York. I know you didn't have that one. Some of the big ones with him were Carolina over Dallas. We both had Dallas. He had the Jets over Detroit. We both had Detroit. And that's really about it.
Right, Armand. It's pretty good.
Yeah, that's 2. Because you had 2 losses. You had 2 fewer losses than he did. So yeah, that's it. Philly and the Jets and Carolina. Sorry, that's 3. He had that we did.
So.
Yeah. So
where are we at?
We had one more poll question. Which was the most surprising takeaway from Week 1 in the NFL? Browns Steelers tying. Sam Darnold's performance, Garoppolo struggling, Saints' porous defense.
Saints, to me.
Yeah, I agree.
They were my Super Bowl pick.
I thought Garoppolo could struggle in Minnesota. I still picked them to win, though, just because I felt like they would be flying high after last year. But yeah, Saints' porous defense. I felt really good about that defense heading into the season. I had the Saints as a playoff team, and I'm with you, man. It's not looking good. Fortunately, they have Cleveland coming into New Orleans this week, so they'll probably get a win and not go 0-2. And we all know the 0-2 curse. If they lose to Cleveland, they're really done because that's 2 losses at home, and they have 8 road games. They're really done after that.
Agreed. I agree. They won't be in the playoffs if they lose.
No, absolutely not, especially in that division. So college football, there's really not much to recap. There were no upsets in the top 14. Clemson had a scare. Arizona State was the only real upset. Kentucky did beat Florida, ended a 31-year losing streak. Good for Kentucky. I don't really give a shit. I was kind of paying attention to that game. I was mostly just focused on our Mountaineers, who are not playing this week, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, sadly.
Honest to goodness, I can't say I'm not relieved because NC State did worry me a little bit.
Oh, for sure. For sure. They always got a D-line and they got a good quarterback. Yeah. So, yeah. Agreed.
So, this is I thought was an interesting poll question. Is Week 2 the most boring week in college football? Because we all have those great matchups now in Week 1, and then Week 2, it takes a significant nosedive now.
Hands down, easily the most boring week.
Yeah, I agree. There's rarely ever an upset. The one big upset was Arizona State over Michigan State, which I guess we could talk about. Herm Edwards. Everyone made fun of Arizona State hiring Herm Edwards, including myself, and I remember the Barstool Sports guys were making fun of him because he always appeared on ESPN, and they kept saying, shouldn't you be filling a coaching staff? And he's not doing it. He's not recruiting. It didn't look like it anyway, and then here he is 2-0 upsetting the Spartans.
I love Herm Edwards. I wish he was my grandpa. I love that man.
Everyone loves Herm Edwards. I don't really care.
Dude, he's the man. He's just cool. You could just tell he's like a cool-ass grandpa who always has, like, really cool football stories.
Yeah, I will say that. He has really cool football stories, I bet.
And he's a former Eagle, so I love him.
Is he really? He played for the Eagles or coached with the Eagles?
Played for the Eagles.
Oh,
He's
really?
Miracle of the Meadowlands one?
No.
So there was no time left. This is why they kneel now. They ran the ball with 3 seconds left. They fumbled, and Herm Edwards returned it for a touchdown. That was Miracle of the Meadowlands one. No time left.
Giants. Oh, the Giants.
Yeah.
So some details about last week. We didn't do this last podcast, and I meant to do it this week. James and Armand, you two led off, finishing 9-3. And your picks, I believe, I just exited out. Let me find it. But you both finished 9-3 with your picks. I know one of the losses for each of you was Florida against Kentucky. You actually called the Arizona State upset over Michigan State. So yeah, now I'm really curious to know where were your losses.
I'm actually curious too, but.
Oh, that's right. You had Nebraska over Colorado, which did not happen. You had Virginia over Indiana, and then Florida over Kentucky.
Okay.
And then
I'm not mad at it.
Armand had roughly the same thing. He had Nebraska over Colorado, Florida over Kentucky, and then Michigan State over Arizona State. I am in the rear. I finished 8-4. Honestly, if I hadn't gotten too trigger happy with the upsets, I would have finished 10-2. I picked Kansas State over Mississippi State for whatever reason. I had faith in Bill Snyder, and he's losing his touch, man.
He's an old man.
Yeah. I love Bill Snyder. He's a classy guy. He's a great coach. He's losing his touch, though. One thing I will say this with West Virginia, we were texting about the NC State game being canceled this week, and my brother said, "Well, at least we now have a week and a half to prepare for Kansas State, and it doesn't matter how bad or good Kansas State is, as long as they have Bill Snyder, I have no problem, having extra time to prepare for Kansas State." And I lost James, unfortunately. My other loss, obviously, was Northwestern and Duke. And then I didn't have Florida, Kentucky, and Michigan State, Arizona State. So that's that. Unfortunately, James is cut out. I wonder if his phone overheated. He said that that's an issue sometimes. I'm going to say that's what happened. Yeah, I'm going to say that's what happened. All right, so moving on. Yeah, there it went. I'll give him a minute. But, so we're doing, we're supposed to have top 10 power rankings. I do not have top 10 for college football. I do in the NFL. I'll flip the camera so you can at least see me. Where is this thing? Photo booth. All right. So at least you can see me. So yeah, we were supposed to have top 10 power rankings for college football and the NFL. I don't really have it for college football. It's still way too early. But I can do NFL. Let me pull it up here. Shit. I really hate that I lost James. All right, so top 10. I have at number 10, I have the Baltimore Ravens. They beat the dog shit out of Buffalo, man. Buffalo's looked really bad, though. But Baltimore looks like a playoff team. I hope so, man. I like John Harbaugh. Hold on, I just got a text from James. All right, let's try to get him back here. God damn it. I knew this was going to happen. Yep, and that's the signal. He's not available. Damn it, did he try calling me? There we go. Alright, there we go.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what that was about.
You see me?
No, I cannot.
Can you see me?
Okay, now I can. Okay.
I can't see you, though.
You can't see me? I mean, you don't really have to, but...
Oh, now I can.
Okay, that's more for my benefit. All right, so do you want to go ahead and do power rankings?
I had Bama, Clemson, Georgia, Oklahoma, Ohio State, Notre Dame, LSU, Washington, Stanford, and then Auburn and WVU.
That's 10? That feels like 12.
Yeah. I think that was 10.
All right, so let me go ahead and do mine, I guess. All right, so for college football,
no, 11.
You had 11. I figured that did not.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that did not feel like 10. All right, so for college football, at number 10, I'm gonna go with. This is obviously off the top of my head. It's easier if I go 1 through 10, I guess. Number 1, Alabama. I'm with you. There, you look ridiculously good. Clemson had a scare, but Texas A&M's a tough opponent. Jimbo knows Dabo really well, so I wasn't shocked that it was a game. Number 3, I'm going to go with Ohio State. That offense looks really good. Tough test, though, this week against TCU. Horned Frogs didn't look great against SMU, but they're well coached. Number 4, I'm going to go with Oklahoma. We got our hands full with the Sooners. We got our hands full, man.
Yeah.
Number 5, I got Wisconsin. Just that run game is so good. That's the best offensive line in college football. Number 6, I'm going to go with Auburn. That front 7 is no joke. I ignored it going into the Washington game, but that's no joke. Number 7, I'm doing this off the top of my head, and I shouldn't be. Number 7, I'll go with. Hang on. Fuck. God damn it. I knew I wouldn't be able to do it, and I did it anyway. All right. Okay. Number 7, I'm going to go with... Shit. All right.
Shane?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay.
All right. Number 7, I'm going to go with Notre Dame. That front 7 looked good, even though they did not play well at all against Ball State. Number 8, I'm going with the Washington Huskies. Tough loss to Auburn. I think you could say it for both teams, but I think they easily could have won that game. Number 9, I'm going with Stanford. Really good offensive line, great coach. Number 10, shit. I don't want to say West Virginia, so I'm going to go with LSU. They were pretty impressive against Miami. All right, so you want to flip over to the NFL?
Yes, sir.
All right. And I actually am prepared for that. So let's go ahead and start. I'll go ahead and start.
Okay.
At number 10, I have the Baltimore. I just said it on the podcast, but I have the Baltimore Ravens at number 10. Man, they beat the dog shit out of Buffalo.
I did not do NFL, and I'm sorry.
You didn't?
I always saw college.
All right, well,
No.
Maybe you can freehand it and look like the idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Baltimore, man, they beat the dog shit out of Buffalo. Buffalo might not win a game this season.
No, I think they're going to win 1 or 2 games.
Yeah, but they don't look good. Number 9, I have the Kansas City Chiefs. We all said going in, it depended on Patrick Mahomes, and he balled out. So I don't see this team taking a dropping off from last year or previous years under Alex Smith. Number 8, I had the Carolina Panthers. Terrific front 7, but Cam Newton's got to play better. Number 7, I'm sticking with the Atlanta Falcons, although I'm thinking about changing it, considering the injuries they have defensively. But I'm going to keep them there. They still have enough. They still have plenty of talent. Number 6, I'm actually going with the Jacksonville Jaguars, even though I don't like it. Winning on the road is huge in the NFL, and they just did it again in a tough environment against a good team and the Giants. Number 5, I'm going with the Pittsburgh Steelers. They tied with the fucking Browns. Come on, you can't do that. Number 4, I have the Los Angeles Rams. Impressive on Monday Night Football, but Oakland's not any good. It was John Gruden's debut. I'm still not as high on the Rams as other people. Number 3, I got the Minnesota Vikings. That defense looks good. I think my Packers are in trouble this week. Number 2, the New England Patriots. They impressed me. They had a good game plan for Deshaun Watson. He really didn't do much at all against the Patriots, and I thought he'd have a pretty good game. And the defensive front for Houston was almost non-existent against a very weak Patriots offensive line. Number 1, your defending champion, Philadelphia Eagles. Look, they're the defending champs. I got to put them at number 1 until someone knocks them off.
Yep.
Yeah,
agreed.
So that's my top 10.
So I'll go 1 to 10, so it's a little easier for myself. Number 1, I will go the Vikings. I just, they got it all going for them right now. Number 2, I'll go Philly. Number 3, I will go the Patriots. Number 4, I will go Los Angeles. Number 5, I have to go the Steelers. 6, the Packers. 7, the Chiefs. 8, the Jags. 9, Chargers probably still. And then 10, let's go with the Texans.
Oh, my.
I think they underperformed last week, but I still think that they're a very, very talented team.
And now I will say that. They did not play very well, and they only lost by a touchdown. And a tough place to play. I don't think it's time to panic in Houston. I think they're going to be fine. All right, so let's go ahead and get into our picks for the weekend. A little bit early because the week just started, but I know my schedule's pretty busy this week. I got class and work the next 2 days.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
As hell.
Yeah. So good thing we actually got this done today. But let's go ahead and look to the weekend. Go ahead and say it. 2 of the games I originally had for college football, UCF in North Carolina and West Virginia, NC State, canceled due to Hurricane Florence, so I had to add 2 bullshit games in there. But let's go ahead and start with Thursday night, Boston College at Wake Forest. Boston College is a 6.5-point favorite.
I got Boston College.
Yeah, so do I. I don't think very many people know. Boston College could be pretty good. A surprise team. Let me write your picks down. BC over Wake. All right. Oklahoma at Iowa State. Oklahoma is a 17.5-point favorite.
I have, sorry, say that again.
Oklahoma at Iowa State.
Yeah, I have Iowa.
Oh, you're going with the Cyclones.
Yes.
Why?
No. I made that up. I'm so sorry. Sorry, I was just parking. I obviously have Oklahoma. Sorry.
Okay, yeah. I was about to say, you're going to have to expand on that if it's Iowa State. Georgia Tech at Pitt. Yellow Jackets are a 4-point favorite.
So for them, I have Pitt.
Whoa. Pitt against Georgia Tech. Oh, yeah, I should be giving my picks as well, I suppose. All right, so Boston College at Wake Forest. I'm going with the Eagles, Boston College. Like I said, I think people are going to realize Boston College might have a really good team this year, and they might be a surprise to people. Oklahoma at Iowa State, I'm obviously going with the Sooners, but I have a feeling Iowa State might keep that game pretty close. Georgia Tech at Pitt. I don't hate your Pitt pick. I just don't know what to expect from them, and they got their asses kicked last week. I'm going to go with Georgia Tech there. I think they have the better coach.
Okay.
Vanderbilt at Notre Dame. Notre Dame is a 14.5-point favorite.
I have Notre Dame.
Yeah, I don't see Vanderbilt making that a game.
Yeah.
BYU at Wisconsin. Wisconsin is actually a 21.5-point favorite.
I have Wisconsin.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Wisconsin as well, but I think BYU keeps it within the spread. Boise State at Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State is a 3-point favorite.
Okay. I have Oklahoma State.
Really?
Yes. At home.
Yeah, I know. This is tough, man. I think I'm going to go with Boise State. I don't know what to expect from Oklahoma State. I know they're well coached. As far as I know, they don't have a quarterback, and Boise State's got a pretty good one. What's up?
I said exactly.
Yeah. Duke at Baylor. Baylor is a 6.5-point favorite.
I have Baylor.
Baylor? Expand on that. Why?
Dude, listen, the home team wins in college football usually.
That's
just
fair.
The way I look at it. When it's a pretty even matchup, that's what I look at, just like the NFL.
I'm going to go with Duke. They got the better coach.
Okay.
I can already tell I'm picking too many upsets. So I'm probably going to finish last in the picks again. Houston at Texas Tech. Houston is a 1-point favorite.
I got Texas Tech.
Really?
Yep.
You know Houston kicked the shit out of Arizona last week.
I did, but I don't think Arizona or Kevin Sumlin are that good.
That's a fair point. I'm going to go with Houston. I just don't trust. I don't trust Texas Tech's defense. And Kingsbury, I just don't know what to make of him anymore. Alabama at Ole Miss. I already know the pick.
Bama.
Yeah. Yeah, same here. I'm going with Bama, and they're going to dominate Ole Miss, I think. Ohio State at TCU. Ohio State is a 12.5-point favorite.
Yeah, I got Ohio State.
I'm going to go with Ohio State as well, but I think TCU makes it a game. USC at – I'm sorry, Ohio State is not at TCU. It's technically at the Cowboys Stadium. So, still basically a home game for TCU, but I'm still sticking with Ohio State. USC at Texas. Texas is a 3.5-point favorite. USC it is. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm going to go with USC, but Vegas giving Florida 3.5 points as the favorite really makes me want to reconsider. Maybe they know something I don't, but I don't trust the Longhorns. They've looked terrible so far. I mean, they struggled last week with Tulsa.
Yep.
Washington at Utah. Washington is a 6.5-point favorite. You're going with Washington?
Yep.
I'm going with Washington as well, but I think Utah keeps it close. And I think that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I remember. I meant to not pick the Boise State Wake Forest game because I have 13 picks here. I have 13
Well, we still have
games.
the game of the week.
Yeah, I know. I meant to not pick the Boise State or Boston College Wake Forest game because that gives us 13. We usually do 12. So I'm getting rid of Boston College. So last game of the week, LSU at Auburn.
I got the Tigers.
Which one?
The LSU Tigers.
Really? You're going with LSU?
Yep.
Why is that?
They impressed me a lot against Miami. Their quarterback can actually play, and
no, he can't.
LSU has showed you, you know what I mean? They're fucking stellar everywhere except quarterback every year, and they finally got a quarterback. So
I don't think LSU found a quarterback. His stats aren't any good.
We'll see.
I'm going with Auburn. That defensive front's the real deal, even though LSU has a really good offensive line. I think Auburn has the better coach. I think they have the better quarterback. They got a really good defensive front. I'm going with the Auburn Tigers.
Okay.
Sorry, so let's switch to the NFL, the big boy football. Thursday night, Ravens at the Bengals. Bengals are right now a 1-point favorite.
Ravens.
Yeah, I'm going with the Ravens as well. And I don't think it's going to be close, honestly. All right, here we go. My game. The Vikings at the Packers. Packers are right now a 1-point favorite.
I'm going to go Vikings because I don't think Rodgers plays.
I am actually, regardless of if he plays, I think I'm going to go Vikings as well. Number one, I think the Vikings have a better defensive front than Chicago. Rodgers on one leg was successful in the second half. I don't know if it's going to happen again against a better defense and a better front seven against Minnesota. So, yeah, I'm going with the Vikings as well.
Okay.
Panthers at the Falcons. Falcons are a 5.5-point favorite.
Panthers at – I got the Falcons.
Falcons, okay.
In the Dome.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that. Yeah, I'll go with the Falcons as well. I don't trust Cam Newton. Chargers at the Bills. Chargers are a 7.5-point favorite.
Chargers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That might be another blowout. I'm going with the Chargers as well. Texans at the Titans. This one doesn't have a line yet. Who you got?
Texans.
Yeah.
Titans are a bad team to me this year.
I agree. They did not look very good against Miami. I think Mariota might be done after this season. Browns at the Saints. Saints are a 8.5-point favorite.
Saints.
Yeah, I'm taking the Saints as well. But for whatever reason, I think Cleveland makes it a game. Just that defense. I don't know about that defense anymore in New Orleans. Dolphins at the Jets. Jets are a 3-point favorite.
I had Dolphins here.
Okay. Interesting. I'm going to roll with my no.
I think the Jets fall back down to earth a little bit this week.
Yeah, they got a short week of preparation. Plan on Monday night. Dolphins have an extra day to prepare. I'll go with the Dolphins as well. I don't think that's ridiculous.
Okay.
And they have a better defensive line than the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Chiefs at the Steelers. Steelers are a 5-point favorite.
Typically, I would have took the Chiefs here, but the Steelers just own the Chiefs. They just do if you look at their last 3 or 4 matchups. So I'll go Steelers here.
Yeah, I agree. And this is the second consecutive road game for the Chiefs, and they're going from L.A. to Pittsburgh, all the way across the country. I think travel takes a toll. I'm going with Pittsburgh as well. Here's your game. Eagles at the Bucks. Dude, I don't have that right. Eagles have to be a 3-point favorite. There's no way the Bucks are a 3-point favorite.
They might be after that game.
Let me check. I'll check.
But either way, I'm going Philly. I don't see the Bucks duplicating that. I don't think Deshaun Jackson's going to play because I think he has a concussion. Listen, they don't have a great offensive line. Even
Philly is a 3-point favorite. I wrote it down wrong.
Okay, and I see the defensive line getting to Ryan Fitzpatrick all day.
Yeah,
and we'll see. I think it will be close because I do think Nick Foles starts. Even though Carson Wentz, by the way, is not officially out for week 2. They're going to announce it tomorrow who's going to play. But I think it'll be Nick Foles, and I think it'll be close because of that. But the defense at the end of the day, I think is going to stifle the Bucs a little bit.
Yeah, I'm going with the Eagles too. This has been really boring. I think we've had the exact same picks for NFL.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going with the Eagles as well. I don't think the Bucs, like you said, repeat last week's performance. They're going up against a better defense, a better defensive line. I think the Bucs come, like you said with the Jets. I think they come back down to earth. I'm going with the Eagles.
Yep.
Colts at the Redskins. Redskins are a 5.5-point favorite. Skins.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go Skins. I'll go Skins.
Don't
too.
Try to switch it to be different. You know who's going to win that game.
I'm going with the Skins too. I got to see it from the Colts first.
Yep.
Cardinals at the Rams. Rams are a 12.5-point favorite.
Rams.
Yeah, I'm going with the Rams too. Lions at the 49ers. 49ers are a 5.5-point favorite.
Niners.
Yeah. Detroit looked awful and short week of preparation. I'm going with the Niners. Raiders at the Broncos. Broncos are a 6-point favorite.
Broncos.
Yeah. Denver always gets off to a hot start, and then they fall apart later, when the weather gets cold.
Great.
I'm going with Denver, too. Giants at the Cowboys. Cowboys are a 3-point favorite.
I got the Giants.
I'm actually going to, again, I think we have the exact same every single time. I'm going with the Giants as well. They play well in Jerry World.
We may differ on these last 2 games, though.
I'll be totally honest. I don't think we will. Seahawks at the Bears.
Seahawks.
Oh my God, we will. I'm going with the Bears, man. They look really good. Seattle didn't look awful against the
No, not at all.
Broncos, but
Not
that's back-to-back road games. I think the Bears are going to be pissed off they let one slip Sunday night.
Yep.
All right, game of the week: Patriots at the Jaguars.
Pats.
You're going with the Pats.
They're going to win.
I am not. You were right. I am not going to do that. I'm going with the Jags. I think they're going to have some extra motivation after the AFC Championship. Get some vengeance.
I'm sorry.
You took a snapshot. But yeah, so for the most part, we have the exact same picks. So let's go ahead and recap the poll questions. Who do you think will be the next guy to become the highest paid defensive player in the NFL? I was actually surprised, I guess a little bit. Majority of the vote was for Jalen Ramsey, which is who I said. You're already shaking your head.
It'll be Myles Garrett.
You think? I didn't see how good of a game he had Sunday.
Dominant.
Was he really?
He might be the best defensive player in the NFL already.
Wow.
Dude, Villanueva is a really good left tackle, and he absolutely abused him.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many sacks did he have? I think you might have texted me. He had 3?
3 and 2 forced fumbles.
Holy shit.
Against the Steelers. Yeah.
Holy shit. You're right.
Top 5 O-line.
That's a really good offensive line.
Yes.
Poll question number 2. Do you think Jim Harbaugh is officially on the hot seat after Michigan's Week 1 loss to Notre Dame? I was actually surprised. 60% said no.
He is.
Yeah, I agree. And you keep taking snapshots.
I am?
Yeah.
My bad. I'm not doing it on purpose. But, dude, listen. College football obviously is about winning, but it's just as much about beating your rivals, and he can't beat his rivals.
Yeah, we've defended Jim Harbaugh, and I still defend Jim Harbaugh. He's a fluke against Michigan State and a bad spot against Ohio State from being 3-3 or really 3-4 against his rivals. If you count the loss to Notre Dame, that's a hell of a lot better than being 1-6 than he is now.
Exactly.
So I'm still going to defend Jim Harbaugh, but you're absolutely right. At some point, you got to win games and beat teams you hate, and right now he's not doing it. Are you taking this one was surprising. Are you taking the New England Patriots or the field to win Super Bowl 53 this season? 60% said the Patriots. That surprises me. Does that surprise you?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Considering they have the worst team they've had in like 10 years, yes.
Yeah, I know I didn't have them in the Super Bowl. Did you have them in the Super Bowl?
Mm-hmm.
You did? Okay.
Adam losing to the Saints.
Okay. I didn't have that. Which Week 1 matchup in the NFL are you looking forward to watching the most? 50% said 49ers against the Vikings.
Why?
I don't know.
Where the fuck did that come from?
I don't know. That was the one I wanted to watch the most. Which Week 2 matchup in college football are you looking forward to watching the most? 40% said Clemson and A&M. I mean, these are kind of bullshit questions.
That ended up being the best game as well.
It did. USC Stanford was really kind of boring, but 2 top 25 opponents. All right, so final thoughts. That's all we have. Anything? You got anything else to add?
Do you have a final thought?
Not really. Green Bay worries me a little bit. I'm bummed West Virginia isn't going to play this weekend.
What's my rule for firing football coaches, Shane?
You better have someone in the works. Better in the works, whichever.
All 7 coaches, new head coaches, lost Week 1. Now, a lot of that has to do with the talent of the teams and things like that. Typically, when you're a new head coach, you're on a shitty team.
There's 7 new head coaches in the NFL this season?
0-7.
I
All lost today.
I thought there were only 5 for whatever reason.
Nope, 7. So,
I got a question for you. Which one is most likely to get his first win? Look at your list.
I didn't make a list.
I thought you had a list.
Want to say, probably Nagy.
Yeah, I'll go with Nagy as well. I mean, he basically had it.
Yeah, exactly. So, but listen, when you fire a head coach, you make sure you have a great replacement. A lot of these teams did not make good hires, in my opinion. The Raiders paid $100 million for a retread. Giants signed Pat Shurmur, another retread. He's not going to suddenly be a great coach. He's just not. He's a solid coach. But if you think I don't know. The Giants did not go out on a limb with that hire. The Cardinals and the Titans both have defensive head coaches.
Yeah. I hated the Vrabel hire. I hated it.
I hated it. Reich was from a good staff, but he didn't call plays, and he doesn't have a good roster to work with. Like I said, the only one who I thought did well was Nagy, and of course he started coaching like a little bitch as soon as Aaron Rodgers had his back against the wall. Doug Peterson showed you last year, dude, if you want to be at a good team like the Packers or the Patriots, you got to put your foot on their neck. You got to step on it. You can't back up and play conservative football.
See, I'm not sure Nagy did it. Nagy, whichever. I mean, he might have. I don't think he did. I mean, he dropped back to pass. Trubisky just ran a lot and just kind of gave up after the first read and would just try to pick up yards on the run.
Dude, Aaron Rodgers is like a lion, and he literally smells your fear, and he can literally tell when he has your – the Patriots are the same way, dude. I'm telling you, when they're down, they're in a better position than when they're up because they just have you against the wall, and they love that shit, dude. The fucking Patriots love that shit. Aaron Rodgers loves that shit. So that's my final thought. Stop fucking being the team that fires their head coach every single year. You don't have a good year. Hire a good head coach and keep them for a little while. Stop hiring fucking bums.
I'll tell you who's really laughing right now, and that's Jim Caldwell.
Yeah, agreed, because Patricia looked lost last night.
Yeah. I guess my final thoughts are just going to be Aaron Rodgers. That was a hell of a gutsy performance. Story for the ages. That is when they make a whatever the NFL does, it's like a life. What do they do? NFL Network does like a day in the life, not day in the life of, but you know what I mean? They do like a 30 for 30 on a player's life.
Okay.
When they do Aaron Rodgers, that's going to be one of the games that they talk about.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Just
go 30 for 30 on him one day, and that'll be it.
that'll be one of. I can't remember what they're called. It's a Football Life. That's what it's called.
Okay. I know
a Football Life.
About.
Yeah. Just gritty, man. That's usually been a knock on him is that he is a diva. All this crap about him, and there he is on one leg trying to get the team to win. If there's anything that if you ever doubt me, I've had my friends doubt me that he really means that much to the Packers. If you really don't believe me again, watch the game again.
He's the most valuable player to his team.
It was 20-0, essentially without him. I know he played in the game a little bit, but when he went out,
like 7 wins by himself.
DeShone Kizer had 2 turnovers, 1 for a touchdown, and then Aaron Rodgers comes back in the game, and I think Chicago was already like, oh shit, he's back.
Factual.
Yeah, I agree. So that's all we have for this week. Football's back, man. I fucking love it.
Football's back. All right, man. Good to see you.
Absolutely. We'll be in touch later.